Hey guys, Captain Retro here, bringing you a potential 2025 farewell video to the um, Great Northern Arcadia Division layout as it sits this year. I have made the tentative decision to scrap everything and to relocate it instead of keeping the layout out here in this garage. I am building a new, more compact layout within my apartment, and I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. I have a rough idea for a track plan, but the way I build these things is it's going to be a little bit of a challenge in the moment. Um, but I wanted to go out of my way to make a recording of this layout prior to any track being ripped up or any big modifications made. Um, as I'm pretty budget minded, I'll be reusing as much from this layout as I can, such as track and to certain extents, even ground cover. Um, so I just wanted to kind of put this quick little video together as a means to showcase how it was prior to meeting the torch, so to speak. Now, the layout itself started out as the Great Cascade Railway, a fictional short line which itself expanded off of a 2x4, which was inside of my apartment. As it kept expanding and I kept wanting more room, it eventually turned into this L table right here. And from there, well, it only continued. And again, being budget friendly, you can see here this is a computer desk, which somebody had tossed to the curb. I decided I could reuse that. Already missing are some of my rolling stock storages, which were here and there, but I have not taken up a single track nail yet, and thusly I thought it would be reasonably meaningful to take you on a layout tour. Um, well, fully admitting that there is a 30% chance that what'll end up happening is I won't like the layout in the apartment and I will basically start from the ground up for a new layout in here. However, for a mix of reasons that you would suspect from a unheated garage layout, I am sick of not being able to come out here in the dead of winter. Even with a portable little heater, it doesn't do much considering the structural integrity of just this basic garage build. So, that coupled with the fact that for the first time ever, I've been dealing with a mice issue for an unknown reason, really. I don't have food out here, so it could be some of the connected garages. It might be just them seeking shelter, but I am tired of dealing with them, and I don't want them to be biting wires or anything to that regard, so I have made the decision that because over the course of the last, 4 or so years, I've really gotten into this. I have enough skills to restart the layout from the ground up and hopefully make it better. And the other big reason is that I do want some sort of continuous circuit. This is a very long end-to-end switching layout, and it's gotten to the point now that unless I upgrade to DCC, which I would like to, and use portable controllers, if I'm sitting at the control booth right here, it's a little bit of a pain to control stuff all the way at the Eastern Junction. Controlling stuff at the Western Junction, which is the CB and Q interchange right here, it's not as bad, but it is still a pain, and thusly I just want to start fresh with a lot more understanding and a lot more knowledge and that type of thing. And these boards technically have been flipped, and there is still scenery on the other side of them. As I said, I'm a proponent of being very budget friendly and reusing as much as I can. I've used scrap wood for backdrops. I've used ground cover numerous times, remixing it to look right and then putting it on the layout. Styrofoam there with trees that are probably 20 to 30 years old from somebody's collection that I've bought in bulk, down to using a soup can as an elevator grain storage. So I don't know what the future holds. Construction has already started on the Arcadia division version 2.0, but we'll see as far as the track plan goes and as far as continuous running goes. The other thing I'll have to worry about is storing rolling stock, which has already posed a little bit of a problem because I have just more room here than I do inside of the apartment. But again, between dealing with the mice and dealing with the cold and also the breeze, picking up any loose scenery that might persist itself, I'm just ready for the fresh restart. So this will serve as a quick opportunity for me to go over everything, and this will again be kind of like a final send-off to this version of the layout. But here we have the East Junction, located all the way to the right of the layout. This is a kind of an urban themed, probably the newest constructed segment that I did. I used a magnet there, a mirror there, so that the yard continues on even though it runs into a wall. You can see here there is basically an opportunity for cattle cars to be unloaded and then led into the yard off stock cars, which can be unloaded off along with any box car or reefer there. There's a piggyback unloading ramp, and there is of course these three railroad crossings, and you can see one of these has gotten damaged. I don't even know when that happened, but at least I have spares. This is Lionco Plastics, which is a combination. The name is a combination of Lionel and Tyco. In my kind of headcanon, this is an early plastics manufacturer. This layout is based around 1964. I have had some suggestion, and I've been toying with the idea of bringing the new layout to 1967 so that it's just everything GN, every color scheme they had. Or potentially even 1968 or 69, right before the BN merger, so then everything is on the table that's Great Northern. But I have enough locomotives and I have enough rolling stock that I don't really think I need more, if I'm being blunt. The little side note about Lionco is that due to the fact this is 1964, you can see the Army truck here. Not only are they producing toy trains, as you would expect by that name, they're also producing M16 furniture for the Armalite rifles, which is just a nice little nod to the era. Moving on, here is Aristocraft Lumber, which is a bulk, basically they get in raw lumber and then they process it. Off layout, there's a building to make paper, which then paper and processed lumber is shipped outward. So they get in raw logs from the interchange. These are my first set of 4 GN gondolas. Prior to this, there was 2 CB&Q. So the headcanon was that the logs came off the CB&Q always through interchange with their own rolling stock, but now it's kind of a mismatch of maybe they interchange the GN cars to the CB&Q and then they fill them on the queue and then send them back. I don't know, but these were listed up and I decided I wanted them. You can see here there's a crane for bulk unloading as well as a forklift and 2 lumber storages. This here is American Express, which serves as a general freight house. Pretty much anything and everything from dry goods to, as I've said in headcanon, the mail would actually get delivered here and then transported to the post office. You can see right next to there's the yard office for the lumber mill. I don't know if I'm going to keep this orientation, but I do like it. And much like this facility over here, Pioneer Elevator and Warehouse, I like the concept of having to switch out multiple industries using the same track. It makes the switching process just last a little bit longer. You can see here that there is preserved 2 steam locomotives in storage, as well as a narrow gauge diesel, and a boxcar, and a bobber caboose. This is kind of like someone's startup heritage location. So the concept of the Pioneer Warehouse, if it doesn't already click, is pretty much they get grain shipped in from the hoppers, and then they'll bag it, or they'll add it to animal feed or whatever, and then they'll send that out via boxcar from the warehouse, owned by the same basically owners, and it works as a kind of consolidated industry. We have a little bit of a scenery thing here. We have a road crossing, and then there's a diner, which there's a municipal dock right there. I've often said that maybe they would get in a bulk community order and have a single reefer dropped there, or it'd be a municipal dock that anyone could sit there and pay to use. You can see there's a preserved tight Spectrum 2.0 steam locomotive on display, along with the old coaling tower, and there's a proper coal customer right there. Over here is the like I said earlier, the CB&Q junction, where empties are dropped, hence why they're sitting here. They're dropped on there and then in theory picked up. This is a furniture warehouse which both receives processed lumber from Aristocraft, and then ships out furniture. And then there's a little bit of background building. You can see here I've used budget-friendly builds to do paper mache style on a vertical scope. And the one thing that this layout really does lack, with the exception of that dropped piece of wood there, is depth. I don't have any bridges, and I don't have much scenery except for these swaths of styrofoam that have been painted. And that's one other thing that I want to do away with this new layout that I'm working on now. So hopefully it turns out right, and I'll be able to give you guys an update of the new layout once everything is all said and done. If not, I'll be back to this one, but time will tell. So if nothing else, for my own sanity, I wanted to document this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little delve into the model railroading aspect of my hobby, and catch you guys in the next video.